Okay, let's go.
Hello. So I'm just going to go over the levels for ES and NQ for the coming week. So I'm just starting on the weekly chart on ES, and as you can see, considering we've had such a volatile couple of weeks, we really haven't went that far. If we go down to the daily, what we see is them two levels, this gap fill, and then this macro level here that I was speaking about on my last video. That got hit and reacted nicely, and that kind of pushed us back up. So from the last video a couple of weeks ago, we're basically at the same place. We were breaking down here on that video, and then I was expecting these to get filled. Had a little push down, and then we rallied to new highs. But we've done that now. And just like that video, for the wider market, for direction basis, it's going to be exactly the same. This 74.52 level is the line in the sand. So above there, we want to be long. If we stay below there, we want to be short. Keep it nice and simple. There's not much else to say about the general market direction apart from that. From a technical basis, we closed just on the daily 9 EMA. And that's another kind of marker that I use for long above, short below. So that's interesting too. So kind of Monday, Tuesday, let's see what the price action does, and that'll give us a bias for day trades. And realistically, Wednesday we've got the Fed. So I think the next leg will probably be decided around there. Looking at NQ on the daily, obviously same thing. Had that big push down. We hit that low level that we had marked from a couple of weeks ago. Had a nice reaction from there. And then the rest of the week kind of built value a little higher. These marks here is the last week's value area. So we got the point of control, value area low, value area high. We closed above it, and we closed above the daily 9 EMA. So if we build up into these levels, which is the previous week's value area, then we could get constructive and start trying to build back up towards the highs. If we don't get above the previous week's value area low, I would expect the lower to be tested again. And then we've got nice clear levels where we could use as targets or reversal points. So previous week's point of control, previous week's value area low. If we have a quick look on the 4 hour, it was starting to look quite bearish. We broke and accepted below the 4 hour 200 moving average. We haven't done that for a long while. We got some nice reactions there, but then what day was that? Wednesday. So Thursday, Friday, big push up, big push back, break above, and then got this nice kind of broadening formation going into Friday's close. So let's just watch this, see which side breaks, and then build our trades off that. But on the 4 hour, it is looking like it wants to be bullish again. We've got the 9 EMA pointing up above the 20 SMA, above the 200. The 4 hour trend is looking up again. So if we can get above this previous week's value area low, I do like longs for higher. If we go straight to the all-time high again, our next extension is 31,220 for NQ. I would suspect that would get hit as well. But like I always say, no need to predict. Let's just play these levels on a day trading basis, and then when the opportunity holds to hold them a little bit longer, that's when we use these daily levels as targets too. So I would say the levels are nice and clear for the coming week. The risks we need to be aware of. At any point, we've got Trump tweeting, which gives us these massive swings. NQ was crazy last week. I mean, there was repeated 600-point swings in both directions. Um, Luckily, they were mainly in New York, so I don't really want to be involved in that. It's a lot of stress when the market's moving that fast. But if you were in them plays already, you know, it was either a very good trade or a very quick loss. Um, so we've always got the tweets to be aware of. He's talking about signing a deal with Iran. Um, I'd be very surprised if that actually happens. And then we've had the SpaceX IPO on Friday. Everybody's talking about how it's going to crash the market. So I'd be inclined to think it's probably going to do the opposite and the market will carry on rallying. But again, we'll see. So just be aware of the kind of news risks. I said it earlier, but we've got the Fed talking on Wednesday. That can always give us some volatility. But as long as you keep your levels tight, trade off the levels, and I'm a believer, apart from the quick Trump tape bombs, general news shouldn't matter too much as long as you're using your levels correctly and you're getting in the trades and not just putting them on in random places and hoping for the best. So what I'll do now is I'll show you a trade from Friday. I had a couple of good ones on Friday, which are probably worth breaking down. So I'll go down to my execution chart in 1 minute. Um, Here we are. Let's get my session indicator on. So coming into the markets, this is Asia. I've got a 5 a.m. model, but that to execute that, what I need to see is a strong Asia trend. Um, the trend was bearish, but as you can see from most of Asia, it was just sideways. So I chose not to execute the 5 a.m. model. Uh, and then I wasn't trading the pre-Europe session on Friday. I was just trading London. So if we look, London opened here. We had big push down and then this little basin. And what I'll look for when I'm getting into a reversal like this is a volume spike of the lows. And as you can see there, we've got a big volume spike there with not much follow through. Another volume spike relative to the previous candles. And then we got a little build up. Once we broke through this 9 EMA, and then I seen volume coming in here, I got my entry off there. And then the stop was below this candle here. And as we can see, a couple of minutes of drawdown, and then we were away. Around here was 9 a.m., I believe. Let me see. So, yeah, I got out just before the 9 a.m. because once 9 a.m. UK time hits, that can either give us a big continuation, which it did, or a very violent reversal. So, because I was in good profit there, so I was 96 points, nearly 4 hours, I didn't want to gamble. So I just took that off. And then just once I seen what 9 a.m. wanted to do, and we had this massive push up, then I was just waiting for another opportunity. So the next decision point for me was this VWAP area. And we got a big push up there, took these highs from the 6 a.m. open, 5 a.m. close, sorry, here. And then kind of reversing back down. Same situation, we see volume spiking and then affiliate go lower. So that gets me interested in the trade. And then all I'm just waiting for is the short-term trend to change, which we got that here with that little kind of gap up on the 1 minute. Got my entry off, and then I was just targeting this high. Again, I did suspect we would take out Asia high, but It was Friday, and that gave me between the two trades, it was about a 9 hour morning. So there was no need to try and push it. I finished there and started my weekend early. Um, so good couple of trades. And then, as I was talking about, just look at these crazy moves. So before New York even opened, big push all the way back down, took London lows. Now, if we look at that relative to what we used to, 400 points just in that hour between lunchtime London to New York open. These are crazy moves. And then big choppy ranges during New York. Definitely, that's not my type of trading. I don't want to be involved in that. Um, so yeah, that was Friday. So same thing this coming week. I'm just looking for my models, which is what I recommend everyone to do. Don't be copying people. Don't be taking people's advice. Backtest your own system. There's loads of resources to help build that, and that's what I've done to kind of build my strategies. And it's all built around time, price, and momentum. So for my kind of 5M model, if we have a strong bearish trend in Asia, what I'm looking for is that 5M open just to continue the trend. So I'll put a trade on as soon as I see a 1 minute signal at 5M, and then trade that for a set, either a set target if there's an obvious target, or just take an easy 3R. And then the same thing for the 6 a.m. That's usually a reversal window. So if we get a nice reversal entry at 6, we can get something like this off, where we just get a big push down. Then we want to be out the market and then waiting for London to decide what it's doing. And with that, we use this London open range to determine what side we want to be on. Quick push down like this with a reversal signal, then we're just going to long it through the range again and see where it goes. Um, yeah, any questions, or if you need any help building your own strategy, feel free to reach out.